Are there, as it relates to data storytelling, are there any particular frameworks that you subscribe to?
Not a specific, like, here's the worksheet to work on, but I think it does come down to just saying, what's in it for me, and me in this case being either you as the presenter that you need them to take action on, or what's in it for the audience. Why do they care, right? The reason that the board cared about that manufacturing line wasn't because they really cared necessarily about that one facility or the timeline. They cared about it because the innovation was leading to real tangible results and savings and things, right? So I think that that's if you can get into what's in it for your audience, why do they care? And the why is so critical. If everything in your presentation is a what, throw it out. You don't
Mm.
we're not just show and tell, I mean, if you think about if you go to a new city and you're on one of those bus tours and all they said was, "Here is this building, here is this building," you would be like, "Oh, I didn't learn a darn thing." But if they say, "Here's this building, and it's important because it's the 7th largest building like this in the world," or "It was bombed during World War II, and they built another one," like, it's the why that makes you understand that makes that tour stick. And that's kind of like that's to me is the framework that you need. If you don't have the if it's all what's, you need to start over and get to the whys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're making me think of a general manager that I used to work for, how he differentiated a mediocre financial partner from an exceptional one is the mediocre one is one that reads the news. So reads the P&L. As you can see, in first quarter, we exceeded goal by 20% versus financial partner who makes the news that explains the why behind the data. We exceeded plan for these reasons. These are the things that we need to keep replicating throughout the year.
I know we have a couple of TV folks on here. I see Dawn is someone that I know for years of TV. And this is not my phrase. I'm taking it away from someone else, and I wish I knew who it was because I don't mean to be taking their information. But there's a phrase that the National Press Photographers Association talks to a lot that's called painting to the corners or writing to the corners. And so if you think of this like looking at me right now, right? Instead of just saying there's somebody sitting in front of you in a blue dress, you might say, "Oh, why is there a map behind them? What does that have to do with who they are and what they believe?" Like you're telling people instead of just to your point, here's the 20% change in our revenue from last year, you're painting to the corners and telling them why or the things that they may not realize that came into play. Was that because there was a return to office and suddenly people were 20% more productive? Is it because there wasn't a return to office and people are working better, but they identify, that telling us what's around here. So it's not just this is so critical. So I try to think when I'm doing any presentation, helping people with presentations, what's in the corners that you need to shed a light on that otherwise I'm not gonna see? Because 'Cause I'm always gonna see the person sitting in the middle of the screen. I can figure that out for myself.
I love that. I love that. And how do you do that without, because the other challenge we experience, especially as it relates to, well, just presentations in general, but in coaching people to effectively tell tight, crisp, compelling stories, uh, a real challenge a lot of the participants have is, including way too much unnecessary context, as an example, or too much information in the corners. So, how do you balance that?
One, give pre-reads. Let people who wanna see all the data and dig in, if we all know who those people are. We know the people who are gonna ask lots of questions, and you can say, "They've already got that." So then what I'm doing is providing the perspective. I am the it's like the difference between watching a movie and saying, "I liked it," and reading the movie reviews and having the critic tell you how it fits into something differently. You wanna be the critic, but people only have so much time to find out, are they gonna download this on Netflix, right? So it's still gotta be fast and to the point. And so I think your story might be one sentence. It might be, we have never seen this number before, or we've been working for 5 years to get this, and this is a big deal. Or in the case of the two people who presented to the board, our innovation comes in this. You watch this and you can see it. They didn't set us up on all the Six Sigma training that they had to get to it and the process that they came to and all of the working with their team. They just said, here's what we did and here's the results, right? So start your storyline at a part where it gets us to where you want to go.